if I traded it all, if I gave it.
All right, listen up, everyone. This is really going to be neat. My next guest is Jack Hirsh, and he is a motivational speaker, author. He's a hypnotist. He's been on lots of TV, lots of radio, so he really knows what he's doing. Welcome to the show, and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you do, and we're going to offer your book and a little bit about your book. Go ahead.
Sounds great. Hi, everyone. Hi, Carol. As you said, my name is Jack Hirsh, corporate speaker, motivational hypnotist, and people always say, what's a motivational hypnotist? So in the hypnosis world, there's comedy hypnotists, guys who go on stage, make people do silly things. You've probably seen them on cruise ships or at state fairs. There's guys that sit in an office and do clinical work where they help you create change in your life, quit smoking, lose weight. I've kind of combined the two, and I'm a motivational hypnotist in the corporate speaking world. So I'll go into corporations, do a half-hour presentation where I talk about motivation and goal setting, visionary thinking, and then I do a half hour where I bring people up out of the audience, hypnotize them to demonstrate the full power of the subconscious mind in shaping their behaviors and their performance.
Now, but being that you're this author of the book is called Planting the Seeds of Change. The book, I want to talk about it because it's important. You are here, though, because you really wanted to stress you had a practice. You closed it in order to do this motivational speaking because basically that's what you got booked up for like forever, and you ended up having to do that.
That's right.
Okay.
So the clinical practice is actually kind of a funny story. I first got interested in hypnosis years ago. 10th grade in high school, saw a hypnotist come in, but it was the 80s. We had no Google, there was no YouTube, so I couldn't really research to find out if it was real. Fast forward, I'm in my 20s going to comedy clubs. I saw these comedy hypnotists, was able to do some research now, and I found out that it was really a real thing. People do get hypnotized, and they can use their subconscious mind to do all these crazy things. And I secretly had to figure out how to get my wife on board. So I told her I wanted to be a clinical hypnotist to help people create change in their lives because I figured, the altruistic side of me would get her on board. So that worked, but I found out sitting in the clinical office, it wasn't really where I wanted to be. I wanted to be up on stage in front of people. I wanted to be having a good time, laughing. So I closed the business, started doing the corporate speaking, but people were still coming up to me after my corporate presentations and asking me if I'd help them lose weight, quit smoking, and I just didn't want to do that anymore. So I wrote the book to help people create those changes on their own. Everything in that book is a blueprint for creating any change or achieving any goal you want in your life.
So we're going to open up the lines to the audience for people to call in for it. If you work for somebody, or if you yourself are an owner of a business that would like to have him be a speaker, what does it take? What kind of business? Or what size? Does it matter?
It is a numbers game for the hypnosis part of it. I do have presentations that don't involve the hypnosis, but the hypnosis is a huge wow factor. It's what separates me from any other motivational speaker. So I would like to have at least 50 people in attendance for the presentations because I use the bell curve. I walk into a room and I know 80% of the people in that room will make average volunteers for the hypnosis part. That means if I spend a little bit of time with them, I'll get them hypnotized and we'll be able to have some fun. But I'm looking for the top 10%, even better than that, the top 2 to 3% of people in the room that'll naturally go into a state of hypnosis within just a couple minutes. Those people will respond great to my suggestions, and I'll be able to show you the real power of the subconscious mind. So in a room of 50 people, I'll be able to find 2 people easily to bring them up on stage.
And you're saying that your book can change anybody's life?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what you got it. You heard it here right on Networking Arizona. So we're going to open up the lines to the audience for everyone to call in. You've got 5 of them that he's going to give away for everybody, but you can all call in, get entered in to win. It's called Planting the Seeds of Change, and he says it'll change anybody's life. So 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. So I wanted to ask you, okay, I'm going away from this, okay, because I had it. When you are doing your hypnotist for motivational speaking, why is it important to do that? Why did you bring those two together?
Because one of the most powerful ways to create change in your life, achieve any goal, is through visualization. And visualization is hypnosis. If you can just shut off the critical part of your mind and daydream, people have a lot of different terms for hypnosis. They call it daydreaming, zoning out, my quiet time. It's all a form of self-hypnosis. So I take it as an expert in hypnosis and show people the true power of their subconscious mind. And once you realize how powerful your subconscious mind is, you realize you can achieve any goal and create any change you want in your life.
So in business, for the corporate corporate world, obviously, when you're changing them, typically what they want to talk about their sales force. That's going to be your number one, obviously,
Absolutely.
right? Okay, so what would be others that they wouldn't? That you would still work for besides their sales force?
We've worked with Home Depot, Verizon. We've worked in biopharmaceutical companies. Every company that I know of has a process they go through where their employees do their goals for their year, and then they have to do a mid-year review, year-end review, and a lot of that's based on that all goes into determining what their raise is for the next year, or if they're going to get a promotion. So having goals, having a vision is important for anybody in any business, actually.
Now, we've got our lines open here. You've got a website which is jackhirsh.com, and I'll spell it out. So it's Jack, Hirsh. It's really easy. We want people to understand that he does work with people, obviously internationally. You go anywhere, but he does this is coaching. But it's done through hypnotists in a business that you do it at a corporate level.
Correct.
Okay, and we want people to understand that. But we also want to give everybody the book so that we can give that to, because you could change your life with this book, is what he said. We're going to talk about that and what you mean by it. So our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Call in. If it's not you, give it to somebody, because this is the book that's going to change your life. Planting the seeds of change. So what do you mean by that? It's going to change your life. Why do you say that? That's a powerful statement.
It is. And I've actually gotten feedback from people. Recently somebody's going through a divorce. They've been married for 20 some odd years, going through a divorce, picked up the book, and he's using it as a blueprint for accepting this change and moving forward in his life. I've had people use it to lose weight, quit smoking. It is a blueprint. It takes you through how to find your why. Once you know your why for creating a change, the how becomes so much easier. So once you know your why, you start the process. It talks about dealing with setbacks and how to, everybody's going to run into a setback because you're stretching beyond your boundaries, what you're comfortable with. So it talks about how to deal with setbacks and what to do once you finally achieve your goal to maintain that success throughout the rest of your life.
I have to say, I cannot wait to read mine. I just got mine today. I wish I had it earlier. I would have read it before, and I love this kind of thing. First of all, can I just go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the things? First of all, one of them is digging into the dirt, which is the number one. You got to do that. And I want to say that as I'm holding this book, I'm feeling like it's hypnotizing me as I'm holding it. I'm not kidding, and I'm not trying to be, because I'm feeling that as you are talking within this, that's kind of what you're doing to them. Am I correct?
Yes, I'm giving them all the clues they need to tap into their own subconscious mind to create the change.
That's awesome. So we've got our lines open here, and everyone is getting entered in to win. We've got 5 of them that we're giving away. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. It's Jack Hirsh, HIRSH.com. And again, if you are in business, if you have a corporate office and you can have 50 people, you said you like to work around 50 people, he wants to work with you. So give us a call. You want to go ahead and just check him out on the website.
Yeah,
Jack,
on the website, they'll see videos of presentations, so it's a perfect place to go.
Again, jackhirsh.com. Okay, back to the book. Call us here. Everybody's going to change their life just by calling Networking Arizona, 602-277-5369. I love, digging the dirt. That's what you got to do, the first step. Okay? So choosing the seeds of change. What's that mean?
So I believe that your subconscious mind is a garden, and all your thoughts and ideas are the seeds that you plant. So you have to choose the right seeds to plant. You have to go after the positive thoughts, eliminate the negative thoughts, shut out negative people in your life, only allow positive people in your life, because they're going to help you create the change.
Okay. What about this one? Preparing the soil.
Preparing the soil. So if you want to lose weight, I call it the pantry raid. Go in and get rid of all the garbage in your house.
By eating it? No, I'm sorry.
No,
go
by
ahead.
throwing it away. So it's eliminating any obstacles.
Okay, there you go. Now, again, we've got our lines open here. Our number here, our lines are on fire. The number to call here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. This is a book that's going to change your life. It's Planting the Seeds of Change by Jack Hirsh. You can check him out on his website. It's jackhirsh.com. Remember, if you're in business and you have a company that you have about 50 people, that's what he does. He comes to your office and he's national. No, international. Sorry, he's international. So check him out. It's jackhirsch.com and call in here, 602-277-5369. Keep on calling. All right, so turning the seeds into healthy plants. I love the way I'm gardening right now. Go ahead.
And that was the point behind the book. Is I flashed back to one of my earliest memories as a child in school, and everybody planted the little seed in the plastic cup. So everybody has planted something. So the what was the
planting the seeds into healthy plants.
Into healthy plants.
To talk to them, you're planting the seeds into turning the seeds.
Into. Yes.
Sorry, the phones are on fire. I'm going to say something here to everybody that's calling in. If you didn't get in, we've got one guy back there, so he's on. He's doing the best he can. Keep on calling, and just don't worry. We're gonna try to get to everyone that's calling in. We're gonna go to a break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk further about your book.
Perfect.
Also, remember, if you have a business, that's really what he's all about. He will come to your office, and it is about 50 people, at least.
At least 50 people.
Okay,
yeah.
But check him out. It is Jack Hirsch, HIRSH.com. Keep on calling.
Fuller Life.
If I traded it all, if I gave it
So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Jack Hirsch. He's a motivational speaker. He's an author. He's a hypnotist, and he sort of brought this all together full circle for everybody. Yes, he does work internationally with everyone out there. So if anyone's listening, he also wants you to know that most of his business primarily is that he works with corporations, corporate offices that have like 50 people on up, and he comes in and he could turn your sales force around, that is for sure, by bringing all of this together and doing that with them. You could check him out. It is Jack Hirsch, HIRSH.com. Somebody asked that called in for a phone number, but we're not giving out his phone number because we want you to just go to his website. All of that information is there, but you can call in here and get connected. That's what I do here with everyone. And if you've been doing this for 10 years, if you don't know by now, but that's what I do, is connect everyone. So we've got our lines open here for everyone to keep on calling in, and he's giving 5 people are going to win, but we've got everyone getting entered in to win. This book, he says, is going to change your life, and it's called Planting the Seeds of Change. I just got the book today, so otherwise I would have read it, and I can't wait to read it. Okay? And I said earlier that I felt like it was hypnotizing me just by holding it, but I feel like I could change just by holding this book. And what I love more than anything is some of the different chapters that you've written on, and that's why I'm going into them, because we're going to talk about you, and it kind of describes you more as you talk about them.
Yes.
Okay? So, let's go into this one. We were talking about turning the seeds into healthy plants. Did we finish that? Did you get what you wanted?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to the next one. It's feeding your garden with mental sunshine. Wow, doesn't anybody love that? I just reading that, I love that. It makes me feel good. Go ahead.
So again, this talks about positive thinking. There's a lot of hoo-hoo out there about positive thinking and how strong it is, and it's true, but there's got to be some action behind it. But that chapter in particular talks about eliminating the negative people from your life again, and just changing the way you talk. Instead of saying, I can't do something, at least be powerful in your decision and say, I won't do it. At least you've made a choice instead of giving up the power. So it talks about changing your language and just starting to influence the way you think in a positive way.
Now, you said something that I have to ask you about, because you said that there's a lot of hoo-hoo. Well, there's a lot of people that think hypnotism is hoo-hoo, but you've brought that together. And tell me why, because I don't think it is. I have been hypnotized 10 times, actually. And I'm going to tell you it was for different reasons, because sometimes people do it for past life regression and all sorts of different reasons. But I certainly understand why you're doing it for the corporate world, because for the sales force, you could turn it around like in a snap, right? Okay, so we got that out again. But how you can bring hypnotism, is that the right way to say that?
Hypnosis, hypnotism.
Hypnosis, and not make it woo-hoo, right?
Right.
And explain that. Explain that.
So I use the term hoo-hoo because there's a lot of people talking about just The Secret. I don't know if you remember that book, where if you just put positive thoughts out there and positive energy out there, then your whole life will change. But that's only a small part of it. And hypnosis is visualization, positive thinking, but there's got to be action behind it too. So my presentation and the book and my whole philosophy is bringing all of these characteristics together. So having the positive thinking, having the positive attitude, but then also putting some action behind it and not just hoping and wishing and praying.
Right. Now, we've got our lines open here. The book is called Planting the Seeds of Change by Jack Hirsh. You can check him out on his website. It's jackhirsch.com. And we've got 5 people that are going to win, but everyone is getting entered in to win. You keep on calling here, and our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. And the book is going to change your life. He said it right here. And all of these different chapters, they are each one of them, just by reading the words, you can kind of get an idea of how it could really change your life. Okay, so we were doing some gardening. We're going to continue some gardening.
Okay.
We're gardening our minds, ourselves, right? Okay, so here's another one, pulling the weeds.
Pulling the weeds, again, is just clearing out negativity, just making sure that your soil is ready so that you can put the seeds in there. So again, a lot of it is getting the right mindset, getting the right people around you, and then you can start to implement and make the change.
Okay. Planning for storms and pests.
That's dealing with setbacks. That's,
Should you plan for them? Should people plan? They do happen, or should we pretend like that's not going to ever happen?
Oh, I tell everybody, script your setbacks.
Okay, let's talk about that.
So let's say you want to be a marathon runner. That's your goal. You want to run a 26-mile marathon. You've never run before. You know there's going to be some setbacks along the way. There's no sense in fooling yourself and trying to think that you're going to be able to get up tomorrow morning and run 26 miles. So you know what your body's capable of. So it's best to script your setbacks. You're going to wake up one morning and you're going to be achy. You're going to be sore. It's going to be raining. What will you do when that happens so that it's not a surprise to you when it happens? Be prepared for any setback you could possibly think of.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Now, again, the book is called Planting the Seeds of Change, and this could help change anyone's life, with whether you're dealing with anything personal. Obviously, smoking, weight, we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. But I love this for me as a person, right? I feel like it's more really for that person to change themselves.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
I'm not giving people any real advice on how to make a specific change. This is anything in life. If you follow this book, it is a blueprint for creating change or achieving goals. It doesn't even have to be a big change. Maybe it's just a goal you've set for yourself in life. Just follow the book. It's a blueprint. It'll help you get through it.
602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. I want to ask you, when you're doing your sessions, okay, first of all, how long are they? When you work with the businesses?
So it's a 1-hour presentation. Half of it is talking about goal setting and motivation. The other half is I actually bring people up out of the audience and hypnotize them live in front of everybody and show them what the subconscious mind is capable of.
And in general, most of them, I'm sure, are sales. Everybody wants to have better sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the change? I mean, do they see it just like that? How does it work?
Again, I'm going back to the bell curve. You're going to have 80% of the people in the room who are going to adopt some of these techniques and they're going to implement them for a little while. You're going to have 10% of the room who thinks it's hooey and they're not going to bother with it. But you're going to have that 10%, and they're your top achievers to begin with. And you get those 10% to do even better, and your sales team is taking off like a rocket.
So if you've got a business out there, it's 50 people at least, and he will come in. He does work internationally. You could check him out on his website. It's Jack Hirsch, HIRSH.com. And yes, he also wants to help people. When you're doing your talks at the corporate businesses, do you use the book?
That's the funny thing. I developed my presentation before I had the book, and I've been working on creating a presentation based on the book, but I don't have a presentation based on planning.
So this is just something because everybody was asking you, how do I do this? How can I do that? And you wrote this book because you really you wanted to help everybody. That was the whole thing. You wanted to help everybody, so you wrote this book, and that's why everybody gets to call in and get entered in to win. We've got 5 lucky winners that are going to win this book. But you're focus on is helping businesses
Right.
with
And
their sales force or whatever.
The presentation is called Transform Your Mind, Transform Your Business. So a lot of the same techniques, but I don't go into the gardening metaphor throughout
Right.
my presentation. But simple, same techniques that I use in my book, I do bring into the presentation.
Okay, so again, we've got our lines open here, 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Keep on calling because we've got everyone getting entered in to win one of these books. Mine look like I've already read it for a while. Okay, we've got a couple more minutes. So
I did want to say one thing about the book.
Go ahead.
The size. It's a very short read. I think it's about 100 pages, just over 100 pages. I've read so many self-help books that are 300, 400 pages long, and I get through
Crazy.
2 chapters and I put it away.
But I love that.
Yeah, you can read this on an airplane and you're ready to start
What I like
creating
more
change.
about it, and I'm going to say that, yes, you can read it on an airplane, but you know what? I'm changing myself, right? I'm changing myself. I'm serious about what I'm doing. So this is something you could actually read every single morning.
Oh, yeah.
And you can read it just one chapter. I mean, a chapter could be 2 pages, 3 pages, that's it. Boom, you've got it. You're ready. You're motivated.
That's right.
You're motivated, and even though he's not there with you, he's hypnotizing you right through the book. Okay, so you can check him out. It's jackhirsch.com. The book is called Planting the Seeds of Change. We've got our lines open here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. So before we leave, what would you want to say to everybody out there right now? You could talk about the book, you could talk about the business part. What do you want to do?
Well, let's talk about them both at the same time.
Good.
Change is change. No matter if it's a business change, if your team is undergoing an IT change. We had the financial advisor in here earlier talking about the DOL rollouts. We just did a specific presentation about that to help the teams embrace this change and move forward with it. If you're going through a divorce, change is change, and the basic concepts for creating any change are the same no matter what it is. This book will help you in your business. It'll help you in your personal life. It's a great book.
I got to say, he said it the best. Change is change. So we've got our lines open here. I'm going to let you keep on calling for the next 5 minutes. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Business owners, if you've got a corporation, you've got 50 people on up, that's what he really does. You can check him out. It's jackhirsch.com and have him come and help you make your sales force even better.